So we got like 15 minutes to spare. Let's go ahead and knock this bad boy out. And hey, looky there, I get to use my favorite battered woman shelter shadow box enthusiast martial artist Ken. So what do I mean whenever I say that? Basically, we're going up against Conqueror, Lilias, a Abyssal Yufine, and a Choux. So what we're going to do is we'll have Moon Bunny here just so we get ourselves the skill nulls and we don't have to worry about attack down. Now that we got that taken care of, then we'll use Moon Bunny's turn to give ourselves attack buff, and now we are completely set to deliver thermonuclear fucking warheads. That is attack number 1 going into Choux. That's half health. Here's an attack going into Abyssal Yufine. That is almost half health. And then, because we stunned the Conqueror Lilias, we don't have to worry about any bullshit going into us. Let's go ahead and S3 this bad boy. Damn! The Choux's already fucking dead. And then also, the Abyssal Yufine has Death Break, which goes into us conveniently, and Shazam! Now she's dead. Now, one thing in particular that I did notice going into this, and I completely didn't even notice it. It just happened, and I didn't even see it. This Abyssal Yufine is on injury set. Now, the only thing I can think of that injury set is there for is for the sake of, like, Dark Corvus trapping. But because, like, you know, martial artist Ken can go into this, and if you have a good, like, threshold of just, like, protecting yourself from the bullshit, a la Moon Bunny right here, then I don't really see any reason to use Dark Corvus into this. Like, sure, Dark Corvus will absolutely work. Dark Corvus, 2 green units that are healers or something, you'll fucking farm this team. But still, this shit was way faster. And now, onto our next oh-so-wonderful character here. So hey, we got an Winter, we have a Senya, and then we also have a Savior Adin. So for this one in particular, I'm looking at a Savior Adin who is... what is our artifact here? That is Shepherds of the Hollow. So because it's on Shepherds of the Hollow, it does significantly less damage because it's not on Sword of Cycling Seasons. So hey, cool! Everything's gonna be a-okay. We'll go in once with a S3 from Shadow Knight Pyllis, do a shitload of damage. Even though we missed right here, we'll go ahead and we'll get the counter attack and then the heal from Roana right there. Pretty much the only thing that they can really do now at this point is the Savior Adin can attack into my Shadow Knight Pyllis, but she's not really going to do an excessive amount of damage. The Senya is going to then go into my, my Charlotte, who unfortunately has already gone, so she doesn't have her immunity anymore. Thankfully, she doesn't hit me with any bullshit right there. Hey, cool, we're 100% in the clear. Because right here, we'll go into her, bam, Savior Adin's dead. Now, all we have left to worry about, really, to where we can't heal properly, is the Winter. Now, because Winter is only going to be going into Roana, and we actually have a fair amount of damage... well, we don't actually have damage mitigation, we just have Death buff on us, and we also happen to have Counter Set and Celestine on us. So basically, anytime we go into Senya, we're going to get some free heals from the counter attacks that are going to go into us. Anytime we happen to be hit on our Roana by any other hits from, say, the Winter or the Senya in general, hey, congratulations, we're just going to get some Celestine procs on that. And basically, we're just gonna kill this team, and like by the time the Winter is dead from the AoE attacks from the Charlotte, then all you're gonna have left is Senya. And with Senya there, she just straight up can't withstand the damage that Charlotte's gonna be dealing. So, get used to seeing some Charlotte shenanigans, because we're gonna be seeing quite a bit of it. But first, time for another wonderful session of martial artist Ken being a very, very abusive bastard. So we're going to use the exact same fucking team this time, but now it's like, oh no, there's Urban Shadow Choux, and it's going to be Navy Captain Landy. Oh noes, what do? Urban Shadow Choux is mad scary. Well, for starters, this Urban Shadow Choux is not on Proof of Valor, so already I'm immediately not really that worried. And she didn't have her immunity right there, so then whenever she crit into a light unit, that then procs Ken to use his S1 to go into the Urban Shadow Choux Shazams. Now, she has Provoke. And oh, hey, looky there, the Navy Captain Landy's already dead because of one hit going into Ken. Goddamn, man, when you have thermonuclear fucking, like, amazing attack stats, and then you just so happen to have anything that damage mitigates, you kind of just nuke the ever-loving shit out of the team. Hey, looky there, guys. We're 91 turns remaining. 90 turns remaining. And we're fucking done. Moving on. So now it's over here onto Charlotte. So we're essentially going into the same kind of team as we did before. It's going to be Winter, Senya, and this time it's Apocalypse Ravi. So, instead of having Shadow Knight Pyllis, we're going to go for a light variant, just big honkin', I don't give a fuck, I'm going to tank lots and lots of damage character. That being our oh-so-wonderful 3-star Eaton. So, what's Eaton going to be doing? Eaton is basically going to be soaking up any and all damage that's going to be going into any of your other two characters, as well as tanking the big S3s and S1s from the Apocalypse Ravi. Now, this particular fight goes extraordinarily well because any and all of the hits that really happen, like, for example, on a couple of the AoE attacks that we even do on Charlotte, we got, like, a proper counterattacks on those, and anytime Charlotte takes a hit, she gains CR boost, she gains Fighting Spirit, and she's one of those wonderful Fighting Spirit characters that doesn't have a cooldown on her S3, which is fucking based. But either way, the Winter is already fucking dead, and now all we have to do is basically just spam the S3 whenever we have access to it, because whenever we do that, we give Unhealable to the ae-Ravi. And whenever you give Unhealable to the ae-Ravi, then she can't really do anything to you. Well, she can't really stall the match out, because, like, she can still be a threat. We'll go into that a little bit later when we get into match 3. But right here, we've already gone in with a Gale win. The Senya's fucking dead because, hey, Charlotte does auto-crits, baby, and we don't have enough auto-crits that are in the game right now. Thankfully, Charlotte does actually do a fairly decent job at doing damage, but I find that she's still a little bit difficult to gear because she's an attack scaler, but you still need HP, you still need, like, speed to turn cycle, you need lots of crit damage, you need attack, and I happen to have mine on a lifesteal set. I could probably spare to take her off of the lifesteal set, but hey, that's just in which the way I have it currently set. So hey, we're still going into the Apocalypse Ravi. The Apocalypse Ravi is damn near dead, and the big thing in particular that we're going to see on match number 3 is anytime you have access to Charlotte's S3, you should absolutely burn it, because when you burn it, you're going to have that skill again because it doesn't decrease your fighting spirit. Now, moving on. So here, we're going into Ocean Breeze, ae-KARINA, and Navy Captain Landy. So, this particular team is a whole bunch of like, hey, we're just going to survive and we're going to do some dumb shit to you. Fortunately for me, Navy Captain Landy just seems to be kind of asleep at the moment, and because she is, it actually kind of fucks me up. So, because we didn't receive any counter hits or we didn't receive anything crazy at the moment, and we provoked the ae-KARINA, now we still have to deal with the ae-KARINA S3, and right here, that dual attack actually kind of fucked me. Because what it just did was it moved Navy Captain Landy down, so now I couldn't use the S2 on my Dark Corvus to bring him up, and then cut through the team, and then use S3 on anybody I choose. So, right there, he fucking died. So now he'll come back, then Ocean Breeze will cut in front of us, because we haven't used an S2 or an S3 non-attack skill beforehand, because we were somehow faster than them at the start of the fight, which really fucked me up. But hey, whatever. We've actually managed to kind of recover from the situation, as fucked as this looks. Like, Dark Corvus looks like he's just straight up on death's fucking door. Good news is, even if we did get another counter salvo right there, I think we might have still been okay. Sure, we would have been hit by a really hard as fuck S3 from the ship if she happened to get one more counter salvo, but I don't think she would have killed us. And then we would have taken our very next turn on Laia to then use either S2 or S3, which we used S2 right there to cleanse off the Dark Corvus, and to also like do a little bit of turn down, or cooldown count stuff for Destina. And, well, if you lose your Dark Corvus, you still have Laia, because Laia may not have the raw as fuck damage as Dark Corvus, but she still do fucking damage. Case in point, I was looking at that and I was like, I wasn't even remotely paying attention to the HP values of these characters. Yet, I just knew, that ae-KARINA is probably like 16k to like 18k, which it was like in the 16s. And even though she had a little bit of damage on her along with a barrier, you're going to have Element Advantage. Element Advantage gives you a good bit of extra damage. So, fuck it. We don't even need to burn that shit. We can burn on Dark Corvus and we can choose not to burn on Laia. And if you happen to get a kill on Laia, guess what? We already have S3 back again, baby. Because if you kill with S3, all you need are 2 more turns, and you're going to have that S3 back yet again. And then you also have all that cooldown reduction that's on the S2. God, what a fucking good character. And now on to the last team. So hey, surprise, surprise, we end up fighting the exact same shit that we fought before. So yeah, I, Winter, Senya, and then also Apocalypse Ravi again. Now, this particular setup, even though it was the same team as it was before, we actually have a little bit of bad luck. We don't get anywhere near as many counterattacks on our Roana in terms of healing, but this strategy still remains the same. Basically, rely on any and all AoE attacks that you're able to get on your Charlotte. Because I have Justice for All on her, I'm always going to have a buff on her, and because she's always going to have a buff, she's always going to do her AoE attack. So just keep doing that until you eventually get through the I Winter. Whenever the I Winter is dead, then you can properly S3 on your Roana, and you should be good to go. Now, it's all essentially the same stuff here, but the only thing in particular that was kind of annoying going through this fight is I ended up getting, you know, my S3 on Charlotte really quickly, but we've already kind of, like, burned through all of the shit. Like, so here's one counterattack that's going in, but then we didn't get another counterattack from Ravi, so now it's going to take a little bit longer for us to get our fighting spirit back. So this is the only thing that really does actually kind of suck about using Charlotte. I was saying before, in a previous video, that Charlotte feels like she doesn't do enough damage. Maybe she just needs some slight tweaks to her damage values. I still kind of feel the same way about that, but it feels kind of like maybe she doesn't need damage value tweaking or anything, or maybe just something to increase the odds of getting some fighting spirit back. But I think a lot of that is really just a matter of we're not going into as much AoE that you would want to use Charlotte into. Like, for example, you can use Charlotte to go into things like Navy Captain Landy. Would I fucking do it? I don't really want to. I feel like I don't do enough damage to justify taking the risk of, like, dealing with counters and salvos. But perhaps, if Charlotte did something like, say, resource reduction on S3, I think this character would actually be fucking cracked. If Charlotte did resource reduction on her S3, she would destroy units like Apocalypse Ravi, she would utterly fucking wreck Navy Captain Landy, and she would really fuck up Abyssal Yufine. She would fuck up Abyssal Yufine bad, because Abyssal Yufine's always going to be doing AoE attacks, which means you can't avoid it, you're going to hit her, and Shazam. That would absolutely work. Is it a good idea? I don't fucking know. I'm a terrible person when it comes to balance, because I tend to think of really, really broken shit. But basically, the big thing in particular here that is distressing, to say the least, is that Apocalypse Ravi is going to continue to go into your Eaton, and if an Apocalypse Ravi here does particularly good damage or has a lot of HP and a lot of crit damage, stuff like that, especially after you've killed 2 units, if you are not prepared with all of that injury that you've accumulated on Eaton, you might very well get into a bad situation, have decent, like, damage on your Eaton, and then also get S3'd, and then she brings back another unit. That is something you absolutely do not want to have fucking happen. And it's really the only thing that could go wrong. But otherwise, pay attention, and you're good to go. And, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the Guild War. God damn, that was quick. So, basically, I guess I'll go into a few things in particular that are on my mind as of right now. So, yeah, this was recorded on the 19th, so that would be February 19th. Now, to those of you who know me personally, you know that February 19th is a particularly special day. I am not going to bring it up into here, but you know who you are. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. But basically, the other thing in particular was I've been talking about recently, like, how bad IRL has been lately, or how, like, I've been in pain, stuff like that. Good news is I'm finally almost out of it. So basically, to not go into too much actual, like, personal detail, just health concerns, health reasons were causing lots and lots of, like, personal pain, and it is finally starting to subside. It has literally been about 2 to 3 fucking weeks of this shit. So yeah, pretty much almost an entire month of pain. But hey, the good news is it's starting to subside, and I'm going to get started on a new video. Going to be fairly soon. I'm hoping to have it out hopefully this week. I made a community post about it. If you want to see it, go on ahead and check it out on my channel. But hey, boys, if you like this video, go on ahead and leave a like. And if you want to see more of my content, go on ahead and hit subscribe. Hope you have a good one.